What's up, guys? I'm Mike from StockedUp, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have an exciting episode for you guys here today. The market is at a crucial level right now. As all of you guys already know, the market took a pretty big drop last week, and we're sitting around some pretty important levels. Like if we look at the SPY, we're sitting right above that $330 level, and we have some important news coming out this week, but also some important news that already came out over the weekend that we're going to cover shortly. But right now, currently, Dow futures are up about 0.5%, which is about 150 points. So we do have a lot of good setups that we're eyeing for the market for this week. If you guys aren't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe to see our daily videos on your YouTube homepage every single day. But let's get right into it. So, Tom, what major news happened over the weekend?
Yeah, there's huge news right now, and the biggest news is going to be the wildfires that are happening on the West Coast. And there's really some crazy wildfires going on right now, with over 33 people being dead as of right now officially. Obviously, there could be a lot more than this, and it just seems like the fires aren't stopping. You know, one fire started from a gender reveal gone wrong, and another one was from an arson. And obviously, there's more fires. Some of them are natural, and some of them are man-made, but it's really crazy right now and may actually have an effect on the markets this week. I know a lot of people up in Oregon, Washington, and California are having to leave their homes and actually get displaced because of this. And honestly, it almost reminds me of like a bad hurricane, except almost even worse than a hurricane, because, you know, with a hurricane, sometimes you can come back and your house is fine. But if your house burns down, you know, there's no chance of you finding anything, you know, left behind.
Yeah, right. So we'll definitely be doing some research, and we'll see how a lot of these, you know, California stocks and also like insurance companies are looking as of tomorrow. And if we see any movement with like these insurance companies, we'll cover them in tomorrow's video. But overall, you know, it's a very, you know, sad event to see. So, you know, obviously we will definitely have our eyes on that. And, you know, you see the videos on social media and the sky is like red. I mean, it looks just crazy.
There's some of our Discord members are even posting pictures and saying, you know, this is my backyard right now. And, you know, the sky is just orange and it looks like there's like fire in the background and stuff. Right. It really seems like a, you know, really crazy time on the West Coast. I know that, you know, this has been going on for a couple years now, but it seems like this year it's gotten, you know, a lot worse than it has in the past.
Yeah, for sure. You know, definitely a sad situation. What other major news happened over the weekend?
Gilead Sciences is actually going to be buying another biotech company called Immunomedics, and this is a $21 billion deal that will expand Gilead's availability of cancer treatments. This is awesome because this company actually gives Gilead access to a drug called Trodelevy, you know, it's kind of a weird spelling, Trodelvy. I cannot pronounce it, but this is an FDA-approved treatment for metastatic triple-negative breast cancer. So obviously, any treatment for breast cancer is really good for the world overall, and you know, science and you know just the medical industry. And Gilead picking up that company could really turn them around right now. It seems like they've fallen pretty much down to their support of around $64, and that seemed to prove as a nice support in the past. So, you know, they're sitting on this support with this type of news, but there is dividends coming up. But besides that, I mean, I could see Gilead popping off this news, and even if they don't pop off this news right away, I think that it's a good, you know, long-term acquisition for them. A $21 billion deal is huge for any company. I mean, especially, you know, Gilead, which isn't, you know, the largest company in the world, but they've been doing a lot better since the virus occurred.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were looking at Gilead for when COVID first hit. You can see they really popped when March, April, May. They were really exploding. They were probably one of the most volatile vaccine stocks. But overall, like you said, they kind of came back down from their run-up. So I think this is going to be good for them for the long term. I can see them popping tomorrow, but it's really just like a hit or miss. There's no way to say it that it's going to pop tomorrow. There's no way to say that right now. But if we do see upwards movement tomorrow morning, I think this can be a good day trade to ride that momentum, because with these biotech stocks like Gilead, when they have good news, they do tend to run pretty big and run. They do tend to run for a couple days. So definitely keep your eye on that. However, Thinkorswim is showing that Gilead has a dividend tomorrow. So be careful with that. With the dividend, Gilead will automatically fall 68 cents tomorrow morning, but that does not mean it's going to close red. It's just going to start the day off down 68 cents. So it's just so the dividend is factored in there. But overall, I'm definitely going to have my eyes on Gilead.
Yeah, and they have a double top of at around 65.90 or 65.92, and if they break that level, then I'd be really bullish on them tomorrow morning. But like you said, they could obviously fall right at open with the dividend going on.
Yeah, so just keep your eye on it. It's kind of like you have to eye it out before making.
And this might be one of those things where it falls within the first 5 minutes of open in one of those parabolic, high volume opens that some of the stocks have.
Oh, right. And then what's that SMA above it, right? Is that the 100, Tom?
That's actually the red 1000. And if it breaks that, that'd be a pretty key level for it. You can see it actually hit it intraday a few days ago at 66.94. And then we've just been, down since it hit that. So if it breaks that, I'd be even more bullish. But if I see it break this double top here, I could almost assume that it would break that SMA as well.
Awesome. What other major news happened?
Yeah, there's some great news with the sports industry, actually. CNBC is reporting that there's some a mega sports weekend going on, and online betting could go very well this weekend. We had a lot of sports going on. It looks like the NFL, week 1 of the NFL is going on, overlapping with NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, Major League Baseball games, and the U.S. Open tennis finals. So, I could definitely see DraftKings bouncing off of this, and it looks like they had such a good run up over the last week that they had to have that one red day to kind of consolidate. But I could totally see them bouncing off of this news as well. They've been doing very well lately and are almost at their all-time highs, which is nice to see. But I think that this could really show that if a lot of people got on their app and started betting this weekend, then I think that would show a lot of promise for them in the future and could give them a great outlook for the next few years to come.
For sure. DraftKings has been looking pretty good since their IPO. They IPO'd around $20.50. Let me hold on. Give me 1 second. They IPO'd around $20.50, and they ran up to highs of just under $45, and we're sitting at around 41 right now. But I think DraftKings is probably going to be a pretty good long-term hold. One, due to their fundamentals, but also due to the industry they're in. Online gambling. I think this is going to be a great industry for the long term.
Yeah, and it just seems like every year more and more states are legalizing online sports gambling, and it seems like that these smaller companies, like DraftKings is obviously a large company now. But a few years ago, DraftKings was, the small kid on the block, and they were trying to get you with those crazy commercials, win $1 million by, betting $1, which obviously your chances are very low on that. But, there's a lot of small companies that, could also benefit from this as well. So it just seems like that this is just a sector / industry that could do very well. And we also have that one ticker called GAN, GAN. They've done very well also, but over the past few months, they haven't been doing quite as well, as they were, like whenever the COVID hit. But, that's another stock that you could watch to see that if more people are betting online, then obviously GAN would go up as well.
For sure. So now for our Discord member of the day. And today's member of the day is Nat. So huge shout out to Nat for being a great member of the Discord, always helping other members and doing a great job with the new bot. And, like I said, helping others, sharing great plays. So huge shout out to Nat. Thank you for everything you do for the Discord. So now for the momentum plays for tomorrow. In the first one is VXX, but potentially to the downside. So VXX was bleeding pretty hard for the past couple days. They had a nice run up in the beginning of the week, last week, but they kind of just felt like they're not moving up anymore, So what this shows me that the VIX is falling, it shows me that maybe we're going to see the SPY hold these levels because normally even I remember with when in March, even if we had a huge green up day in the market, the VIX would still be up. And then what ended up happening is the market kept falling more, right? But with the VIX right now, usually the VIX is a pretty good sign of what traders are expecting. And to see the VIX falling, that shows us pretty much that expectations of volatility are falling. So when we saw the VIX rise a ton last week, it shows that traders were expecting obviously a lot of volatility and a lot of big moves. But to see it falling right now, like remember, the VIX is not just any old ETF or stock, right? It's a volatility index. So pretty much to see it falling, it shows exactly what traders are expecting for the market. So to see it falling, it leads me to believe that we might see a little bit more of a calmer week as of right now. That can change during the week, but as of right now, we are seeing the VIX fall. So we're eyeing VXX to the downside. Tom, what levels should we be watching?
Yeah, just watch for it to break below 25.50 or 25.49, right around that level.
Awesome. So if it breaks below that level, I VXX to the downside. With the next play, we have Uber.
Uber, yeah. Watch for them to actually break to the upside above 37.15, and this looks like a very strong play. I could see this company actually doing pretty well right now. They've had so many green days while the market was red last week as well, which leads me to believe that, they could obviously double top up here, pretty easily anyways, around 38.50.
For sure. Again, Uber is being watched to the upside. And last but not least, we have NTR.
NTR, watch for them to pop above. I would just make them break 39.80 a share. They're pretty close to that right now. And this stock doesn't move too much in pre-market or after hours, which is, obviously good to see for options traders.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're approaching 6-month highs, and then they have some good volume too. So that should be interesting. So with those plays, make sure to only consider playing them if they break above or below the levels we listed. We're eyeing VIX to the downside, and we're eyeing Uber and NTR to the upside only if they break the levels listed. So, and now for the unusual options activity for tomorrow, and we are looking at the FDX 250 strike call options that expired this Friday, September 18th. There was about $3.1 million put into this play, and I can definitely see them longing this play, maybe like in anticipation of like an earnings run up, because they do have earnings this week, and I can definitely see this. I can definitely see them buying these call options. What do you think?
Yeah, this is awesome to see on Friday actually going up as much as they did. I mean, that's awesome to see in after hours, them breaking that high at 237.60. I mean, that's just awesome to see, a great run up. And on a daily chart, it looks like they just have not slowed down. Obviously, since the virus happened, UPS and FedEx are getting a lot more business right now than they're used to, obviously, with the online marketplace doing a lot better and people, buying a lot more stuff online and having it shipped. Which is why a lot of these parcel companies like UPS, FedEx, and even the USPS are seeing a huge influx of packages. And obviously that's going to help their company in the long term. It looks like FedEx really needed this. They were actually starting to go on a pretty long downtrend, and now they're starting to go back up. And I could easily see them longing these, especially with the after hours movement Friday.
Yeah, and then the only thing that makes me a little weary about this play is that it's a 250 strike option. So, it's about $20 out of the money, $15 out of the money. So that's a little scary to see for it being a weekly option and earnings. But, who knows? This can just be like a pre-earnings run up, like a flip. So we'll definitely see what happens with FDX. But either way, I would definitely, if you do get in this play, I would definitely exit it before they report earnings, because earnings is a huge gamble. So now for our comments from the previous episode, and we have William saying, what do you guys think about the stock LEN? So what do you think about LEN?
I think it looks very nice on an intraday chart. At least it does, from last week onwards. Let me go on to a daily chart to give it a better look. Yeah, it looks pretty good on a daily chart also. It's recovered up very nicely. I don't know what they do exactly, but it seems like that this could play very well, if you're doing options. And I think that, based off of what they did Friday, it looks like they might open up and, run up Monday morning. I'm not saying that's going to happen for sure. Obviously, do your due diligence and watch the market, especially with earnings coming up, on Monday after close, I believe. And then obviously there's going to be a call on Tuesday morning, which could affect this stock as well.
Yep. And then we have Z saying thoughts on PTON. So PTON had a pretty bad day on Friday. Like they didn't have horrible earnings, but they actually had pretty decent earnings, but they didn't really run up too much. And I think that's because they're already so high. So what's your outlook on PTON for this week? I know it's really hard to judge because, the chart looks so weird, but what are you seeing?
Yeah, honestly, based off of what happened Friday, it's really hard to say that you want the stock to go up, but I think that based on their earnings and how good of an outlook they have, they said that sales, could still be increasing, even though they've beaten last year's sales by 160% already. This is just great to see by this company, and I think that they could easily go up this coming week as well. Like you said, they were just up so much, and they did actually rise on earnings, but then they just fell, once the market actually opened. And that's just something where people could have been taking profits, and people could have been taking long-term profits as well. A lot of big investors could have, made this stock go down, but, with them hovering around the $100 mark, from here on out, I'm going to be a little bit bearish on them based on the movement I saw Friday morning or Friday afternoon.
Yeah. So are you just going to be bearish for the short term or?
Yeah, in the short term. For the long term, I think this company is going to do great. And I think that they'll be over $100 a share, obviously in 2 years or 3 years, for sure. But, over the next year or so, I'm not too sure just based on how much they've ran up. We've seen stocks like Tesla in the past before this run up, back whenever they were around $50 a share, they made a big run up to, $250, $300, and then kind of fell back down to that $150, $200 mark. So, these stocks do this a lot. And, I just see this stock being one of those parabolic stocks that will be up in the long term, but obviously in the short term, it just has so much downside potential.
Gotcha. Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on it. The tech sector is exploding. Obviously, PTON had a great year so far, and obviously COVID definitely played a big role in that because they specialize in the at-home workout / gym industry. So they're definitely not just running up on like a bubble, but they're definitely doing pretty good. So I'll definitely have my eyes on it.
Yeah, and one other thing that worries me about them is look at the volume that they had on Friday.
True.
You can see on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and the few days leading up to expiration, this volume is just crazy. You can see the blue candle is the highest. That's the biggest day of volume they've had this whole entire year, even with the COVID, drops and rises going on. So that's pretty crazy to see. And it was right around that $100 mark. I don't know if that was some big investors dropping out of shares or what, but that seems like a pretty crazy volume anyways within those few days.
Well, yeah, look at the candle. It gapped up and then it ran all the way down and it closed below the lows of Wednesday and Thursday. So definitely a volatile day. We have Santana saying, hi guys, thank you for all the awesome content and recommendations. What can you tell us about BA? It's been below $170, which seemed to be a very clear support in the last months. Thank you. So what do you think about BA?
Yeah, I think BA could easily go up over the next few years for sure. But in the short term, it seems like they've actually broken out of my trend. They bounced off of this trend line 3 times, and there was some solid opportunities here. But right now, it seems like they actually broke below that, and they ended up breaking below the 100 SMA, which they had been riding along and bouncing off my trend line with as well. So with it being below all those SMAs and with the big rise we had from 89 all the way back up to 240, this is just going to be one of those stocks that's going to trade parabolically. And, it's one of those airline stocks where they have government contracts, but at the same time, they have a lot of civilian applications, and they even had problems with their plane before COVID hit. So that was just like a double whammy to them. And you can see their last earnings report was terrible, as everybody expected it to be. And the next one probably won't be very good either. So with Boeing, I'm honestly looking at it to the downside over the next month or so.
Good stuff. So with that being said, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or any insight for the market for tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm still looking at AMD. This stock is still looking very good on a daily chart to the downside. I hate to trade these tech stocks to the downside, but whenever you get setups like this and they start breaking out of these wedges, it just broke below that support right around $76.30, and that's awesome to see on a stock like AMD. I think it could come down to around $72 on the safe side, but in the longer term, I could see them falling down to around $66 to $67 over the next couple of weeks. But really, I think the AMD is just due to go down. They've been going up so much the past few years, and rightfully so. They do a lot of innovations in the tech industry and with Bitcoin and graphics cards and stuff like that. So really, it's a great stock, but it's just one of those again one of those stocks where whenever you go from $20 a share to $100 a share within the course of 1 or 2 years, you're just bound to come back down eventually.
For sure. So thank you for that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video to the end. Tom and I really appreciate all the support you guys give to the channel through the form of hitting that like button, commenting down below, and subscribing. Thank you guys so much for that. Any little comment down below really helps us. So thank you guys so much for the comments, the likes, and the new subscribers. We really appreciate it. With that being said, if you guys have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. And if you guys want to try out the new options day trading bot, you can click the Stocked Up Options Alerts, Stocked Up Options Alerts link in the description down below. But like I said, any questions, let us know in the comments down below. Other than that, thanks for watching.